Hey, how you doing, 4G Gunners? It's been a long summer, lots of rumors, linked with multiple players. But now, finally, we're going to put all that behind us and get onto the games proper. Starting with Wolves this weekend at Emirates, playing at 3 p.m. UK time. Looking forward to that match. We're going to give our predicted lineup, match prediction, score prediction, and we're going to look at other transfer news around the Arsenal world. And before we do that, if you're new to this channel, please take a moment to subscribe and give this video a big like so we can keep growing this channel and make it a big channel for Arsenal fans everywhere. Now let's go. So the papers today is saying that Arsenal need to win a trophy this season. Now, this is goal.com saying that Arsenal must finally look to end Man City's Premier League dominance. That is the next logical step after being runners-up in the last 2 seasons. This is echoed by The Independent, saying it's time for Arsenal to deliver. After they've spent 650 million, spent on new signings, the Gunners have won a single FA Cup. That was during the 2020 season. Can Mikel Arteta deliver the prizes which matter most? Good question there. They're saying if you take the net spend, because Arsenal have actually sold about 150 million worth of players since Arteta came. So the net spend there is about £500 million. After spending that much, surely you expect Arsenal to be winning trophies, not just one paltry FA Cup since 2020. So this season, no need to lie, Arteta and the Arsenal team are going to be under immense pressure to deliver at least one trophy to the Arsenal fold. And especially, that has to be the Premier League or the Champions League. The Champions League is going to be a tall order. So the Premier League looks like the trophy that Arsenal should be winning this season, and they should be targeting that. And this is echoed also by the likes of Alan Shearer, who says that as much as we recognize how formidable Man City are, but Arsenal should start winning something to take that extra step to show that they've made progress. So, this is not just pressure from pundits and commentators. It's also the Arsenal fan base. I think every Arsenal fan wants to see this team actually start to win something. That's the next logical step. They've been playing fantastic football over the last 2 seasons. So why don't we have a trophy to show for it? Let's make it this season. And Paul Mason, Arsenal legend, seems to tell us how to do it. He says that Arsenal strikers Jesus and Havertz don't fill him with confidence. He looks at them and he doesn't see 2 players who can actually guard Arsenal to the title. He actually compares with Man City and says that he does not see these players combined scoring more goals than Haaland. He says that Haaland is going to outscore both Jesus and Havertz combined. So he says that from that alone, you can say that Man City are favourites again this season. Unless, of course, Arsenal take drastic measures to bring in a proven match winner, a killer, in front of goal, a proper striker, proper number 9, who can actually score 25 plus goals. So what's happening on that front? Ted Sheringham, former Manchester United, he says that Arsenal need to go out and sign Ivan Toney. He says that this is the signing that could propel Arsenal to the title this season. This is a player who has been linked with Arsenal in the past 2 seasons. But it looks like for some reason, Arsenal have cooled interest on him. Even Tottenham and Manchester United, who were previously linked, have gone on and bought other targets. Manchester United have gone on to sign Zagzi, and Tottenham have gone on and signed Dominic Solanke. So this guy is still available on the market, and there's a rumor that Brentford can take as low as £30 million for Ivan Toney. What do you think, guys? He was at the Euros with England. We saw he scored a very cool penalty. You saw whenever he came on, he caused a lot of trouble to the defense. He's very strong. He's Premier League proven. He can be that number 9 up front. What do you guys think? Should Arsenal go and sign Ivan Toney? He's London-based. He doesn't need an adopting time. He knows the Premier League in and out. He's a strong guy with attitude. Lots of defenders don't like defending against him because you'll have a fight. I think we should have a look at this player. What do you guys think? Looking at the other strikers we've been linked with, Victor Osimhen, from Napoli. This has simmered on the whole summer for the last 3 months. And right now, it's said that he is favouring a move to PSG. Of course, Chelsea are still in the running, and Chelsea are said to be making a proposal where they can send players across. They said he's going to cost about 39 million plus Lukaku, and there's another midfielder called Casadei. Chelsea have signed a lot of players, haven't they? I think their first squad has got like 50 players, and now they've got to sell a lot of players, release some before the end of the transfer window. But this one looks like it's not likely to happen for Arsenal Football Club, which means that we are going for other targets. And of course, the big one that we'll be chasing all summer is Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres, of course, needs no introduction. He's a top shot, scored 43 goals in about 50 games last season. So his scoring rate is up there with Haaland. He can hit more than 30, 35, 40 goals a season. It said that Arsenal have informally moved to get this player signed But his club, Sporting Lisbon, of course, these guys proper know how to push a hard bargain. And they're saying it's £86 million or we're not talking. So they're telling us no, £86 million, meet the release clause, and then we can talk about the payment terms. You can structure it to be paid maybe over 3, 4, 5 years, but you must meet the release clause. And it looks like Arsenal are not exactly money bags this transfer window. So they're keeping the powder dry, and it remains to be seen whether they move for him towards the end of the transfer window. Now, what about the wing positions? Of course, we know that we need a backup for Saka in that right wing, especially if, as rumored, we're going to sell Reece Nelson to Leicester. So that leaves a gap right there that needs to be filled. Could that player be Brighton winger Adingra? This player is from Ivory Coast, and I watched him at the AFCON. He is a proper spark. You know, he's got a football brain. He reminds me of a young Saka. He can actually dribble very fast without losing his bearings. He knows when to dribble, he knows when to pass. He's got that football brain that you want in a forward at Arsenal Football Club. Only 22 years old, will cost about £30 million. Is this the player that Arsenal are going to get to fill that wide position? Or is it gonna be Rafinha? You know, linked with him in the past transfer window. He was actually meant to go to Chelsea, but he chose to go to Barcelona, and now he is surplus, and they want to sell him, and Arsenal are being linked with him. You know, with our Brazilian connection with Edu, are we likely to see a player like Rafinha coming in? Previously at Leeds United, he knows the Premier League inside out. He can hit free kicks, and he is very tricky from the wing. He can also shoot very well. He's a Brazilian international, so high-profile player who can actually come in and hit the ground running. Or is it gonna be Nico Williams? You know, been linked with him before. He had a superb tournament with Spain out there in the Euros, and now he's back at his club, Atletico Bilbao. They are said to want to keep him, but could Arsenal making a late bid convince them to sign this player? Actually, this could be a very good signing because he's young enough to be molded. He can play understudy to Saka. He can play on both wings. He can play on the left and the right wing, and he's a very tricky player who can shoot with both feet. So he could be a good signing, and it remains to be seen whether Arsenal are willing to pay the 40 to 50 million pounds that it will take to price him away from Atletico Bilbao. Or are we gonna go for other players who have been linked with us, like this PlayStation player, Kingsley Coman? Man, the way this guy dribbles the ball is proper PlayStation, man. And he is a champion. You know, he's won so many trophies with PSG and with Bayern Munich. And now he's said to be having reduced game time because they've signed Olise from Crystal Palace. So he's available to come on loan. His wages are a bit high, but will Arsenal go for experience and buy him? You saw how he troubled us in the Champions League. And having him line, you know, for Arsenal in the Champions League against big sides, he's gonna be proper hotshot. I am looking forward to having such players signed for Arsenal Football Club. So coming to midfield, we've been linked with Mikel Merino. You know, this is the one that is said to be boiling, ready, almost cooked, but you're still waiting for it to be served. It's not happening. What's happening on the Mikel Merino transfer front? The Athletics' David Ornstein says Arsenal are stepping up efforts to sign Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad. Talks are going on. Edu has been in Spain this week to pursue agreement. Personal terms for 28-year-old midfield are no issue. Likely needs an exit from Arsenal Football Club before they can sign it. So he's saying that Arsenal need actually to sell before they can sign. So what Edu went to do in Spain was just to reassure the player and tell him, look, we are committed. There's no chance of you playing for Real Sociedad again. We're coming for you. So bid your time. Don't make any rash decisions. And of course, you saw what happened to Zubimendi with Liverpool. So they were almost buying him and then he pulled out. So Edu is wise enough to make sure that the player knows that the club is actually making some moves behind the scene. They're not just cooling off, but he's very highly rated. Lauren here says, I analyze La Liga and he's an outstanding player. He's not only the typical holding midfield player, he drops to receive the ball, gets into position where he can score goals. We saw that in Copa del Rey against Mallorca, also in the Euros where he attacked spaces inside the box. He never loses the ball and he will give a lot if Arsenal go for him. He's a quality player. You know, that's high praise right there. And it looks like this player is very highly regarded. And I can't wait for him to come into Arsenal and free up Havertz from that midfield so that we have a proper midfielder in that left-handed number 8 role. And of course, Havertz from last season showed us that he has better returns when he plays as a striker than when he plays as a left-handed number 8. So you can see the stats here. Out of 18 games as a striker, he scores 8 goals and had 7 assists, you know, 0.83 goal involvement per match. While playing from midfield in the first 32 games, he only had 0.18 goal returns per match, which is about 6 goals and no assists. So clearly, this is going to benefit Havertz a lot, and of course, by extension, benefit Arsenal Football Club. Now, of course, his exit is largely dependent on Arsenal selling Nketiah. Now, in the keeper position, Wojciech Szczesny, previously at Arsenal Football Club, currently at Juventus, has been released. So he's a free agent. And what do you think? Should Arsenal go in and sign Wojciech Szczesny? We've seen him play in the Champions League, a very experienced player. We've seen him play for Poland at the Euros. So he's got bags of experience. He knows Arsenal setup inside out, having been a Ghana before. Should we go in and get Szczesny as our backup keeper? But the player whom Arsenal has said to want to replace Ramsdale with is 23-year-old Espanyol goalkeeper Joan Garcia. So this is the player who Arteta is said to have identified. So we will end up having Raya and Garcia as our keepers. Now, these are the opening fixtures of this Premier League 2024-2025, starting on Friday. So Manchester United are in action against Fulham at 8 p.m. UK time. And then on Saturday, Arsenal roll off against Wolves at the Emirates. Ipswich, newly promoted, at home against Liverpool at 12:30 p.m. So they kick off earlier than Arsenal at 3 p.m. And then we have Sunday fixtures. Chelsea against Manchester City at 4:30 p.m. Wow, this is a cracking game to start us off. Chelsea, of course, at home. They've signed a lot of players, so we expect this to be a proper test for Manchester City. Looking forward to this match, alongside, of course, the Arsenal match, which I'll be bringing to you as soon as it happens on Saturday at 3 p.m. And then Tottenham travel away to Leicester at 8 p.m. on Monday night. So it looks like a proper cracking opening weekend, especially with that fixture on Sunday. And it's going to be exciting to see how these big teams open up their Premier League campaign. So what's the predicted lineup against Wolves? Well, looking at the way Arteta set up the team against Lyon in that Emirates Cup, White is going to start at right back, Saliba and Gabriel and Zinchenko. Now, Zinchenko is the surprise here at left back because he has not had a good season last season for Arsenal Football Club, but the preseason has been immense. He has come through by leaps and bounds. You saw him put on a solid display against Lyon in the Emirates Cup. You saw him score against Leverkusen in the same tournament. So he looks like he's out to fight for his place. This is Zinchenko putting his foot down and saying, I see you've bought Calafiori, I see Timber is back, so before you guys think I'm a pushover, let me show you what I can do. And Zinchenko is very good when it comes to those midfield positions. He actually dictates play very well. In my opinion, even if you're not playing him at left back, we should surely consider playing him in midfield because he can be that link-up player in that midfield. He knows how to control the tempo of the game, and he can pass, he can actually shoot, as we saw against Leverkusen. So very good player. I'm excited to see what he'll do against Wolves. So looking at midfield, we've got Partey, Odegaard and Rice. Partey has had a very good preseason. He's been immense. We've seen that he's ready to play. And of course, Rice is coming back from that Euro tournament with England. And Odegaard has looked very sharp. His pressing is on point. And of course, you can see his passing range and everything is on point. So looking forward to see how this midfield three play together. We were denied the opportunity to see much of them last season because Partey was injured for the bulk of last season. But this time, hopefully, he can stake a claim and make it difficult for whoever comes in, be it Mikel Merino, to actually get into the team. And then we have our forward line. Left back, it looks like it's going to be Trossard given the nod. Of course, you'll say that Martinelli also deserves to get that nod, but I think Trossard, on the balance, has had a better preseason than Martinelli and deserves to get that starting position. And at right wing, it's going to be Saka, definitely. But the centre forward position might be up for debate because we've seen Jesus put up a claim with some strong showings in the preseason. But of course, Havertz is Arteta's preferred centre forward, as we've seen from last season. So it's likely to be front three: Trossard, Havertz and Saka. Now, what are the predictions for this season? BBC are predicting that Manchester City are going to win the Premier League and Arsenal are going to be second, Liverpool third and Aston Villa fourth. Man U fifth, with all the business they've done, and Tottenham sixth. That is BBC. What about Daily Mail? Daily Mail have gone with a computer prediction that puts City at number 1, Arsenal at number 2, Liverpool at 3, Manchester United at 4, Chelsea at 5, and Aston Villa at 6. Tottenham are being said to finish at 7. Personally, I think Arsenal have got a very good chance of winning the Premier League this season. They've finished behind Manchester City for 2 consecutive seasons. This past season was actually only 2 points difference between Arsenal and Manchester City. 89 points, winning 28 out of 38 games, scoring lots of goals. and almost winning it. Had we won that home game against Aston Villa at the Emirates, we could have actually won the Premier League. So we need to go out there and get either Gyökeres or Victor Osimhen, that caliber of striker who can guarantee you 25 plus goals a season. Then we will be confident that we are in with a shout for this Premier League campaign. So my prediction for this weekend, Arsenal versus Wolves at the Emirates. I think Arsenal are going to run out 3-0 winners. This is the kind of game that we will absolutely dominate the opponent and score lots of goals. Starting off at home, the players will be hungry to show what they can do. Some of them know their positions are threatened. Our strikers know that Arsenal are looking to sign a new striker. So the only way they give Edward Arteta, food for thought is to score goals. Jesus scores, Harvey scores, our wingers score, so that Arteta thinks, there's no need for me to go and get a top striker. But still, I would like Arteta to go out and get a striker, because we absolutely need to make sure that we bridge that gap with Manchester City. So thanks for watching, guys. If you are new, please take a moment to subscribe, give this video a big like, and leave a comment and let us know which player you think Arsenal should prioritize to sign before the end of the transfer window on 30th August 2024. Good luck, guys. I'll see you after that game on Saturday. I'll do a post-match analysis just to see how Arsenal are shaping up in this new season. And let's go!